Our fourth designer is Sal Bass. Sal Bass was an American designer and filmmaker. He was born in 1920. Sal Bass is best known for his motion graphics, title sequences, film posters, and corporate logos. Sal Bass was one of the pioneers of motion graphics with his creative approaches to title sequences. At the same time, he worked on some of the largest corporate identities, such as AT&T, Continental Airlines, United Airlines, Dixie, Quaker, and Kleenex. Sal Bass was multi-talented and had diverse graphical solutions which cast him as one of the best in his day. He had a very symbolic approach which allowed him to visually communicate the message effectively with what appeared to be minimal effort. The corporate identities were his claim to fame until he got his feet wet with title sequences. The movie The Man with the Golden Arm caused a sensation in Hollywood and put him on the map. This landed him as the most wanted and needed individual for title sequences for any major motion picture in Hollywood. Some of his final works you might recognize: Psycho, Goodfellas, Cape Fear, and Casino. Sal Bass also had a very interesting approach to design. Here are a few of his best-known phrases. One must expect and accept the possibility of failure. Design is thinking made visual. And finally, symbolize and summarize. Our next designer is a German-based designer that goes by the name of Erich Speakerman. Erich Speakerman is a German-based typographer and graphic designer. Erich has been in the industry for over 40 years. He started with letterpress, then graphic design, and now he's known as a typomaniac, as one of the best typographers alive today. He and his wife, Joanne Speakerman, started the very first mail-order digital font company. They called it Font Shop. Erich has designed many noteworthy typefaces in his career. Some of them are Berliner Grotesque, Meta, and Meta Serif, just to name a few. Recently, Erich Speakerman gave a talk titled Type on Screens. He went on to explain how designing for small digital spaces, like for mobile devices, is really no different than when he used to design for aspirin bottles. In fact, it's much easier to design for mobile because you are allowed an infinite amount of colors and have multiple type options. Back when he used to design for aspirin bottles, he would only have one typeface to work with and maybe two colors if he was lucky. Also, he had to keep in mind the consumer might have a headache while trying to read the directions. Designers like Erich Speakerman have been in the industry for such a long time and have helped lay the foundations of the technology we have today. I highly suggest researching Erich's work and listening to his talks. His reasoning for design is that of a genius. Speaking of influential designers of the 20th century, next up we have Dieter Rams. Dieter Rams is another German-based designer. However, he's an industrial designer. With a strong carpentry and architectural background, Dieter Rams was destined for greatness in the industrial design industry. In 1961, he became the chief design officer of Braun until 1995. Dieter Rams set the groundwork for the two words, user and friendly. Even his earlier designs proved to do unbelievably well because they were aesthetically pleasing and so user-friendly. Dieter best describes his design approach with the phrase, less but better. In the 1970s, Dieter constructed the 10 principles of good design, and here they are. Good design is innovative. Good design makes a product useful. Good design is aesthetic. Good design makes a product understandable. Good design is unobtrusive. Good design is honest. Good design is long-lasting. Good design is thorough, down to the last detail. Good design is environmentally friendly. Good design is as little design as possible, meaning less but better. Dieter Rams is by far one of the most influential designers of today. His design principles still hold true to their value, In fact, Steve Jobs of Apple Incorporated's biggest influence was Dieter Rams. He clearly helped change the world and make our lives that much better through one word: design. With the technology drastically increasing in today's world, the need for designers like yourself couldn't have come at a better time.